So this record came about when we were in Bath working on Watch the Throne because Jay-Z was there. Of course, Beyonce was there as well. So that's when I first got to meet her, met them at the same time. I would say about 3, 4 weeks later, we went to Sydney, Australia to work on Watch the Throne again. And Beyonce was there. So she said, if I'm gonna be out here, I might as well be working on some stuff for my album too. They put a little small setup, a recording setup for her in the media room. This was great because, like I said, we were all in the same house every day for like a week straight. So it was very tight knit and family oriented because we would all eat dinner together every night. So basically what happened was there was a moment being out there where, and it may have been like the second or third day, where Beyonce is in her room. I'm on the second floor and I'm by myself. I'm just kind of making some beats and everybody else downstairs. And it was just one of those things, when you just like know an opportunity is there and you're just like, man, almost like the closed mouths don't get fed type perspective. I was like, man, it's some way I need to try to get her some beats or something. So I remember it was one particular moment to where she came downstairs, and prior to that, I could hear her playing records because her door was cracked. And I was right in front of her door and the door was cracked. So she was playing songs from the album. So when she came down, I asked her, I was like, man, what you playing up there? Like, it sounds amazing. She was like, you can hear that? I was like, yeah, I heard it. The door was cracked. And she said, I'm just playing some songs from my album. Won't you come up and I want to play you some songs? So immediately I got the end to go up and for her to play me some of the songs from her album that she had already recorded. So I'm sitting in the media chair, she's sitting on the right, and the engineer is at the desk, and he starts playing records. So he played, and after every record, she would ask me, she was like, "So what you think about that?" And I'll be like, "Man, that's ready. That's ready to go. That's incredible. It's nothing else you should do to that." Play the next record, same thing. Oh man, that's incredible. Like this is mind blowing. Play the next record, and there was one particular record called "Wish It Would Rain," and it's a Mayor Hawthorne record.
Well, I wish that it would rain.
And she took this particular song and sampled it and chopped it up, and she did her version of it. But the drums didn't fit. So after she played that particular record, and I'm already thinking in my mind, should I tell her, I don't like the drums on it, or should I just tell her that it was dope? So record stopped. She was like, okay, what you think about this one? And I went ahead and just jumped on the ledge and was like, man, this song is incredible, but I think the drums could be better on it. And I remember her looking at me. She told the engineer, she was like, give him the Pro Tools session and let him rework the drums. So
Wow.
he gave me the Pro Tools sessions. I went down, put my headphones on, and I was like, yo, I gotta kill this. I gotta nail this. So I'm working on the drums. We have dinner that day at the table. We're all sitting, at the table together. And after that, she asked me, she was like, did you get to do anything to it? I was like, yeah, I think I got something for it. So we went back up, second floor. I played it for her. And after it went off, she was like, that's amazing. She was like, yeah, I love it. Send my engineer the files. So I sent her the files. And the week kind of went on. And the second day before we left, I'm down eating breakfast at the table. And her and Tata, they come down, get breakfast, and they come to my table and they sit down at my table. And she was like, hey, S, I was thinking, would you mind coming up to New York at the top of the year to help me work on my album? I'm working on my album 4. Would you mind coming up?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. You don't ask me, you tell me where I need to be. We get there, and the first day we get in the studio would be, we're playing her record. We're playing her beats. So we play her beat. She's like, "Oh, this is dope." She's dancing. She's sitting on this couch and she's like dancing to some of the beats. And about 4 beats in, she stopped me and she was like, "Well, to be honest with you, I don't need any more beats for the album." She said, "I already have 75 songs done for the album." Just being completely honest, man, I felt so defeated because it's like she already has 75 songs. It's no way in the world that I'm gonna make this album
You're like, what am I
with
doing here?
having 75 songs. That's the way I was thinking. I was literally thinking like that. So as the day progressed, she put us in this room beside her. She was doing vocals in one room, and she put us in the room right next to her. And so she gave us, before that, she told us there's 75 songs already on my record. But what I want y'all to do is I have 4 particular songs that I don't like the production on it, but I love the songs. So I want you guys to take these songs and reproduce them out. I remember specifically when we got to the Beyond the Best Thing I Never Had record, we was messing with it. We had the vocal up and we're messing with it. Caleb was on the piano and I'm on my drum machine on my computer going through sounds. And we was like, man, this mug has to be dope. Like, what can we do it? Well, I mean, what can we do to make this like special and memorable? And I started thinking to myself, and I was like, we need to make something like, do you remember I think it's called 1,000 Miles.
Who could forget?
Yes. And I was like, we need something memorable like that, but not like cheesy. We just need something that when that record come on, everybody knows what it is, what it is. And I kid you not, immediately once I said that, that's what my friend Caleb started playing. So he starts playing that, and I'm like, that's it. So we record that in, and then from there, we just built around that. Over the next couple of days, we dial more into the record and flush it out more. Beyonce would come in every couple of hours because she was just like, "Is it done yet?
Wow.
Are y'all finished yet?" And we'd be like, "No, we got more to do." And she'd go
Pressure.
out. We would always second guess ourselves because we was like, "Man, is it good enough to play for?" Because we didn't want to play it too early to where the impact wasn't felt. The last 3 days of these particular sessions, Beyonce had these listening sessions. So every night she would have a listening session. So the first session that she had, she took the top 25 records. So she had already narrowed down the top 25 songs of the 75 that she had for the album. So during these particular listening sessions, she would play those 25 songs, and it would be like 10 to 12 people in there, and she gave them scorecards. So these scorecards would have ratings on them, like, is this a single? Do you feel like, is this your favorite record? And it would be like a rating scale from 1 to 10. So that first listening session, Best Thing I Never Had, was actually number 2, the top 2
wow.
out of the 25 songs. The next session, it was number 2 song. And then the third section, the third listening section that she did was actually number 1. We was like, this could possibly make the album. This potentially could make the album. And we were very excited about it. But when I went back home, it was crickets. I would text Tata and be like, "Yo, y'all heard anything yet? Y'all got a final track listing?" And he'd be like, "Nah, we ain't figured it out yet." Wait a couple more weeks, text him again. "Yo, y'all figured it out?" "Nah, we ain't figured it out yet. We'll let you know." So at that moment, I'm like, man, I hope I didn't work this full week with Beyonce and not make her album. That was the whole thing because I was kind of scarred from my previous moments at that point. It was like PTSD from
Yeah,
not
yeah.
those previous albums. But I would say a couple months later, I'm picking my boys up from school, and I get a call from Ty Ty. Got good news for you. You made the Beyonce album. I specifically remember pulling my truck over with my boys, and they probably was wondering what's going on because my hands were shaking, like the drop on the steering wheel. My hands were shaking, and I got out the car, I put in the parking lot, and I got out and I was talking because I usually when I'm on the phone, I have to pace, I have to walk, So I got out and I was just kind of walking. I was like, "You for real? Like, you know, what's the track listing? What's the?" And he was like, "Man, that ain't even the best news. You got the second single."
The single,
So
man.
once he told me that, bro, like tears started rolling down my eyes, and it was just an unbelievable moment because that was working with Beyonce was as fun as we made it. It was super stressful because she was just on it, man, and she knew what she wanted. So sometimes when we wasn't able to translate maybe what she wanted, it was like, man, we got to figure this out. And it was just the moment was so intense that we was just locked in on trying to figure it out. And I got to give a shout out too to my brother Shay Taylor because he executive produced that album and he was able to take the record as well because he knew exactly what B wanted. He was able to translate some of those things to what she exactly wanted to. And I feel like what he did took the record over the finish line.
Appreciate the backstory. We're going to move on to the next song, guys. Now, this one includes a sample.